It's Car Con Carne in Wrigleyville, just a couple doors south of Metro. The Cubs aren't playing, so I was able to park right in front. Where'd we go? Big G's?
Yeah. Yep.
That was your choice, right, Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It's so good.
These are the stars of PS Burlesque, and we're going to talk to them about their new production. We're going to talk burlesque. We're going to eat giant-sized pizza, like Food of the Gods pizza, in a couple seconds. Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue, probably 20 minutes from where we are right now. If I were a burlesque performer, I would probably want to drive around in a Mazda CX-9, something big, something to hold all my outfits, my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Something that I can store my heels in.
Yes.
And my boas.
Yes.
And my feathers.
Your fans.
My
all
fans.
Your stuff.
Yep.
Your props.
Makeup.
All that.
Eyelashes.
But here's the great thing about the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. You don't have to do burlesques to get a car there. Wow. Yeah, you can just stop right in. Love the service there. This car we're in right now, this Mazda 3, is from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Again, 1015 Chicago Avenue. The stars of PS Burlesque. Are you ready to eat pizza and talk about stuff?
Yes.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
All right, so a quick roll call. I've already called out Trash Bandicoot in the backseat. Birth name. Weird. Blame the parents. But a returning guest, the returning champion on this show. To my right, I have Layla Bird. And in the backseat, Bombshell Bell, who is playing Dorothy in the upcoming Dorothy Does Oz. Now, before we talk about that, I do want to point out the pizza, which was steered by you all. You've kind of broken into this, Layla, but can you hold that up to that camera right there? This is a mac and cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That looks ridiculous. I bet that would be good with a little hot sauce drizzled on that.
Oh, my
I second
gosh.
that emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I should have brought some. So
All right,
much
so
hot sauce.
for context, we're talking about Dorothy Does Oz. I'm just going to read the way it's described on your website. I think it's on your website. And that website is the unlikely URL, unpopularhotties.com.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Dorothy is just a girl from Instagram-filtered Kansas. Then, all of a sudden, Mother Nature took her out and threw her into a magical, oddly sex-positive land called Oz. Watch her go on crazy adventures and find a way back home. Dorothy Does Oz. This opens when?
August 9th, which
August
is a
9th.
Friday.
And where?
We're at Otherworld Theater, so actually not too far from where we're at right now. Does anyone know the exact address? I don't know it off the top of my head.
3914 North Clark.
Look at you.
Say that again, Layla?
3914 North Clark.
Oh, yeah, we're very close. Right that way. Right by Irving.
Just up the street.
So let's talk about PS Burlesque. Proud and safe burlesque. Tell me about the evolution. And give me some of that pizza.
So, basically,
Thank you.
our company was born from the ashes of the infamous Gorilla Tango Burlesque. All of us were there during the walkout when we were not paid. We all decided that we were no longer going to put up with it.
Hang on, Trash Bandicoot. I know nothing about any of this.
Oh, really? Okay. It was like everywhere for a little bit. So basically, we had done a month's worth of shows, and then at the end of the month, they notified us that we would not be paid for any of the shows that we
Woof.
had done. And there was a lot of talk, and we all decided kind of collectively on our Facebook group that we were not going to perform from that point on. Some of us were like, well, until we get paid, we're not going to perform. And then others were like, no, we're not going to come back. It had been kind of a snowball effect of mistreatment. So we decided...
Do I need to say alleged mistreatment, or are we... I want to be careful here.
Alleged mistreatment, I guess, but there's been enough people and accounts and everything, and I guess it's like already swept under the rug. He's not going to do anything. Like, it's already sold, so... But...
I'm sorry, I'm crying. Not because of your story.
Oh, no.
It's the buffalo pizza.
Oh, no, is it too hot?
It's just enough hot. But I'm tearing, and as you're telling this story, I just...
I've moved you with our tail. But it gets better. It does get better.
Yeah.
After we all decided to walk out, we all, I mean, we love each other. We had been working together for such a long time. A lot of us we saw each other on like a weekly basis.
Yep. Sure.
And it was like some of our closest friends, and we didn't want to just say goodbye to that. So we decided that we were going to band together and create a new company called Proud and Safe Burlesque, aka PS Burlesque. And we've been rocking since August 2017. It's been awesome. We've put on a bunch of different shows. We did monthly shows. We do shows probably every couple months. Our biggest is our C2E2 show because we are proud nerds. We love Nerdlesque.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this Dorothy Does Oz is our first show getting back to that parody burlesque show.
Going back to our roots.
Yeah, we're getting back to our roots, and it's
That is
something we're
total
really
Nerdlesque.
excited. Yeah, yeah, it's super nerdy. It's gonna be great.
Are the ruby slippers like skyscraper heels?
Oh, my God,
They're so cute.
They're beautiful.
We had a promo photo shoot just the other week, almost exactly a week ago, and so I got to see them. They were gorgeous red. There was like a little bow with them. There's rhinestones galore. They're everything a girl could want.
They're beautiful. We were taking photos of them. I'm like, oh, so sparkly.
Side note, I'll need another napkin.
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, thanks. Part of the fun of doing this podcast is spilling while talking. I think I squeezed my Diet Coke and just shot a lovely stream of
Yes.
soda all over my white shirt.
Oh no.
Nice.
Also, like I haven't learned my lesson yet, always wear black.
I know.
I'm wearing
I
white.
know. I'm surprised I haven't spilled yet.
So let's talk a little bit about Nerdlesque, because this is a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh
The,
yeah.
the parodies of these pop culture things that we all know and love. When did you? I mean, how long have you been throwing in on these concepts?
I mean, me personally, like I have been doing Nerdlesque for about 5 years now.
I'm like 3.5
Yeah.
years.
I'm somewhere in the 5 to 6 year point. I know I started in 2013.
I
Wait.
love that.
Ooh, no, maybe it's 2014. Something like that. 5
Yeah,
years.
no, it's super fun. It's just, I mean, I know that my love for it grew from like my love of fan fiction and just like wanting to take those characters and like do something fun and silly and weird and sexy with them, and like it's just super fun.
And Layla, you wrote the Dorothy.
Yes, I did.
So how did you approach that? you took this thing that is very wholesome, very ingrained in pop culture.
Yeah.
We all know this story, and then you sexed it up.
Yeah. I'm originally from Kansas. So
We're in Kansas.
I'm from the Kansas City area.
Okay.
I'm just right off state line, but I'm not from Kansas City, Kansas.
So you're like an Overland Park girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that lore has always been a part of me. It's literally like Dorothy and Superman are like the most treasured characters from Kansas.
Superman. Oh yeah, Smallville, of course.
Smallville.
Yeah.
Hello.
And I just love parodies because I grew up watching Mel Brooks movies.
Okay.
So that's how I got my jokes, and like everything I write is always towards him.
So you approached Wizard of Oz, the character of Dorothy. Tell me about the approach. Tell me about how you just sat down and hammered out this concept.
I just wanted to make Dorothy. She's just a universal character. Like any decade you put her through, she's relatable, and I just want to put her in much of a millennial twist to it.
Now, what does that mean? Does she say I can't even? What is she?
Oh yeah, she's
Is she woke?
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, she's for sure. Have you seen The Good Place?
No.
Watch The Good Place, but it's very much like Kristen Bell.
Okay.
So when you think of Kristen Bell, that's how what I wrote like Dorothy.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Burlesque, and we'll go back to the show, the performance. I want to talk a little bit about burlesque, because the burlesque scene in Chicago has been, I mean, to your point, it's been around for years. It's been thriving. Is it competitive, or is it more of a supportive thing? Because I'd imagine to get that share of audience, there's got to be a little bit of competition.
I think a little bit. I think, at least in the Nerdlesque circles, we try to be very conscious about like when other groups are performing, because you don't want to tear audiences apart or anything like that. Like, I'm not being dramatic or anything, but you don't want to split audiences, and both of you end up with less audiences because of it. So.
We're very supportive, so we don't want to like overlap their shows. So we'll do the second Saturday, and then the other person do the third Saturday, so everybody can see everybody's shows.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like although I haven't worked with a ton of other burlesque companies myself, I felt very much at home with PS and prior to that GTB. The one thing that I've really noticed about our group of, ladies and gents who all work in the burlesque community, everyone is super supportive of each other, period. It always feels super inclusive, and that's part of the reason why I love doing this style of burlesque so much.
Yeah.
I think burlesque is wildly misunderstood by people who have not seen burlesque.
Oh, yeah.
And the one thing, and I've interviewed burlesque performers through the years, my big takeaway is probably not what a conventional wisdom approach might say. It's a very empowering community.
Oh, yeah.
The performance.
100%.
And I think one of the questions I think I had as I came here was, how does burlesque exist in a Me Too era? And I think the answer is, burlesque is driven by women.
It's driven by the performers. It's not, and the way that I always think about it, because a lot of people will equate it to just like stripping, which there's nothing wrong with stripping. Like, I mean, if that is how you make a living and you enjoy it, like,
sure.
Perfect. But the art of stripping, I feel, at least personally, is more for the viewer. The art of burlesque, I think of it as more for me. It's more me having fun with the audience, me showing off what I can do, and it's not necessarily for their enjoyment, it's just me having fun. And I know some people might think of it differently, they might not think of it that way, but that's how I frame it when I think about it.
Well, and the difference also, is a burlesque show works for couples.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so great that way too, because I can't tell you how many times I've been performing in a show and you see the husband and wife or the boyfriend and girlfriend together and they're watching it, and it's like the girlfriend's being like, it's okay to find these women attractive, or like them both together enjoying every moment that they're seeing, and that's so fun to see, as opposed to this whole like sex negative culture that I feel like permeates a lot when it comes to burlesque and everything like that.
Well, I used the term sex positive when I read the description out loud. You just said sex negative. For someone who is listening, watching, who doesn't understand that term, what does that mean? It sounds self-evident, but...
I just feel like for so long society has told us how specifically women should be acting and behaving, and that women are not sexual, and that it doesn't necessarily have to be exclusive to women, but like I feel like that tends to be the pattern that happens, is that women are not sexual, and if they are sexual, then they're like demonized. So like they're a harlot, they're a Jezebel, they're everything negative that you can think about. And a lot of what we do in burlesque is spin that. So it's like, yeah, like I am a sexual person. I am proud of my body no matter what shape it is. I am proud to like show like that I have these kinds of feelings as well, and it kind of spins that negative side to being positive, because especially like when couples come and see it, or when bachelorette parties come to see it, it's like everyone's so excited to see bodies that they might not normally see up on stage being sexual.
I can't count how many times after a show, like a bachelorette party, like members will come up and be like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be like you guys. And I always am like, you can. You can. And, like, it will be so fun if you do. Like, I mean, it's really cool to, like, watch their reactions, and, like, they leave and they're like, oh, maybe I can do that. Like, maybe, like, and, like, seeing relatable people on the stage, and, like, I mean, it's really cool to see that reaction in an audience. Yeah.
I should mention again, Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. By the way, I can't believe we're on this street right now and everything's totally calm and normal. This is like the one day where it's okay to be in Wrigleyville.
I know.
During the summer, yeah.
I had to look up. I was like, oh, God, is there a Cubs game today? And it was like, it is. I was like, no. And I was like, oh, no, it's away. Okay, it's an away game. We're fine.
And I mean, we've all lived here long enough. Just looking at this complex, looking at the way this neighborhood has changed,
oh my God,
still blows my mind.
Yeah.
It
looks like Naperville.
It does.
It looks like downtown Naperville.
Which is the swingers capital of Illinois.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
I'm not surprised.
That's great.
But yeah, it's kind of disorienting and dizzying to go through, not just this area, but other areas too, that have just been rebuilt from the ground up in the city. This is just nuts.
I still remember that McDonald's.
Of course. Of course, who didn't show up there drunk in the middle of the night?
Rest in peace, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Makes me so sad.
Let's talk a little bit about the cast. I mean, you went as far as to include the Munchkins
Yeah.
in this performance. And one of the great things about burlesque performance, really the names of the performers, Willow the Whips is one of the Munchkins.
Such a great name.
That may be one of
Love
my
you.
favorite names.
Willow.
So
Love them.
You have Glinda, you've got the Wicked Witch of the West, you've got the Holy Trinity of the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you handle costumes for this? Do you have someone handling that? It seems like something that would take a ton of work.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to shout out to our amazing leader and artistic director, who's also the costume designer, Miss Heather and Lace.
Yeah, we love
Woo,
you.
we
Heather
love
and
you.
Lace. Another name.
Yes.
They are working so hard, and they love this company so much that she'll die for us.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
She doesn't want to admit that, but she will.
Yeah.
She's probably hardworking right now.
She's in rehearsal.
Yeah.
One of her 15 rehearsals for the day or
Day.
something ridiculous like that. Yeah, she works so hard. She's wonderful. She was the one who kind of organized this effort, the effort of PS, after everything went down with GTB. She is just awesome. She's a Wonder Woman. Like, I
Wonder
can't-
Woman, for sure.
Yeah, like definition.
So to continue growing PS Burlesque, having learned from GTB, what's going to keep this moving forward for you? Is it keeping it kind of small and focused?
Honestly, it comes for me. It's just like respecting your performers, like
Yeah.
respecting their talents, respecting their enthusiasm, and creating a safe space for new performers that won't take advantage of them, because that was really what GTB kind of ended up doing. That's where I started. I started there and I was new to it and I was so excited about it. It was this new thing. It was this beautiful new thing where I found burlesque and I loved burlesque. I loved how it made me feel. But then it was combined with this kind of toxic work environment. And for the longest time, I think a lot of us were balancing the two. Like, do we go through this and just be with our friends and love ourselves and have this wonderful time, but like have to go through this work environment? But yeah, I mean, learning from that and just learning not to take advantage of these performers and make sure that they feel safe, they feel accepted, they feel heard. If there are concerns, we listen to them. We're not going to shut them down. And yeah, like, I think a lot of times at our meetings we do talk about, well, at GTB this is how it was, so we're going to steer away from that. That's come up quite a few times, and it really has never led us astray. Like,
Yeah.
we've benefited from that.
And also, I've noticed in our past couple meetings we've been having, we don't even talk about what happened before or like how we can do better. It's kind of gotten to the point where we're just like, okay, so we've learned X, Y, and Z from the past year and a half. What can we do to be better? And I think that's really kind of cool to see that transition
You
happening.
found your groove.
Yeah, and there's also, like, I feel like we have a lot of artistic people and we also have some more strategic minded people too, so I feel like that kind of helps, like, everyone checking and balancing each other as far as keeping a company moving, and I love that. It's it's necessary.
It's a very good balance of type A and type B people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Only in Chicago could we be sitting on Clark Street with microphones in the car, burlesque performers sitting here, and people are just walking by with blinders on, totally oblivious. Only in Chicago could this happen, in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Like, not even a rubberneck or anything. It's amazing. All right, did we finish all of our pizza?
I finished my pizza.
I finished my pizza.
I was so hungry and it was so good.
I know.
I love mac and cheese pizza. It's so
Here's the
delicious.
problem. One piece should be enough.
Oh, yeah.
It really should. But when you finish it, there is that temptation to keep going.
I know. I'm like, maybe
Like,
more.
do I go back in?
Maybe more pizza.
I don't know how you guys could do any more than mac and cheese pizza. So much cheese, so much
There's
good
never
cheese.
enough cheese. Never enough cheese. There can never be enough. The limit
so
does not
Midwestern.
exist.
So Midwestern.
Midwestern.
Okay, so say it again. August 8th.
August
Au-
9th.
August 9th.
9th.
So Friday, August 9th. It's Fridays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. For the month of August.
Love it.
Because just an FYI, it's the 80th anniversary of the film coming out.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the original movie.
I love that. Growing up, I got one of those copies of the tape at the time, and it was like for whatever year it was. So we're not going to talk about whatever year it was, so we don't expose how old I am. But I remember it was
Don't get me started.
it was the biggest deal because like on the actual tape cover, you like unfolded it, and there was all of these pictures and historical facts about the Wizard of Oz, and like all these extras on the tape, and like that's how I fell in love with Dorothy, like at a very young age. So
Come full circle.
Yeah, I
Now you
know.
get to
I've-
strip as her.
I didn't
everything I've
mention
ever wanted.
Bombshell Belle is Dorothy. I don't know if we said that out loud. You play the titular character of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you.
Yep, the titular character.
Actually, that is not correct. You would be the Wizard of Oz if you were the titular
Okay,
character.
fine, whatever.
The
We
star
had a little
character.
jokeroo, but
It did allow me to use the word tit in a very professorial kind of academic way. That's important to me.
It's important. It has to be done. It must be done.
especially in this context.
Exactly. So, all right, everyone from PS Burlesque, thank you for eating pizza with me, talking burlesque. We will go see you. We will go see Dorothy on stage following the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes.
And we're just a month away as we're recording this. So looking forward to it. Thank you for your time, your energy, your spirit.
Yes.
company.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, be sure to follow us on Instagram, PS Burlesque, like us on Facebook, check out our website.
Unpopularhotties.com.
And also, if you're feeling pretty generous, we do have a GoFundMe out right now for Dorothy Does Oz. So if you're feeling generous, want to contribute, help us make those costumes extra super duper sparkly, then please feel free to donate to that. We would
Support
really
the
appreciate
arts.
it.
It's all over Facebook.
It's for art. It's for art.
So go follow them on Instagram. In fact, I just followed you today.
Yay!
I realize I'm spending more time following dogs on Instagram. I need to
Same.
Oh, that's the best.
I need to go back to.
Recommended one to you.
I need to start following people again. So thank you for bringing me back because it's just look at the cute. Oh, they got a puppy this week. Oh, that's great.
I'm just like dogs and burlesque performers. Like that's what my Instagram account is.
That is
Makes
wild
perfect sense to me.
scrolling through that.
All right, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go support them. PS Burlesque, Car Con Carne, again, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. And carconcarne.com. Go listen to previous episodes and share your thoughts. Thanks again.